Prairie Yard and Garden is a production of the University of Minnesota Morris in cooperation with Pioneer Public Television.
We all remember Grandma's fresh out of the garden vegetables. They had a rich flavor that seems to be lacking in today's varieties. Many individuals are longing for those good old days and are growing some of the flavorful varieties. Join me on Prairie Yard and Garden as we rediscover heirloom vegetables. Well, today we're going to explore heirloom vegetables. You know, we all long for those great flavors that we remember in Grandma's garden, and somehow they seem to be lacking in today's varieties that we find in the grocery store. My guests, David and Judy Glaeseman, are involved in heirloom vegetables. Got a small acreage out here. How long have you been involved with this?
I've been producing seed for Baker Creek for 4 years. I've been involved with gardening and farming most of my life.
Well, maybe we should define heirlooms. How do they get defined by the trade?
Many of the seeds have been passed from generation to generation over the back fence, and a family has had them. They've been successful, they've repeated, and they've repeated. On the plant side of it, of course, a generation of plants is 1 year. And so, you know, you can speed up that generational thing of keeping species going.
And so, therefore, probably no hybrid seeds would be developed in this process. We are looking at open pollinated?
All open pollinated. They have to breed true by themselves. There are no hybrids, and there's no genetically modified plant material at all.
And where did this concept come from, or how long has it been around?
Well, people have been saving seeds. You know, the immigrants brought seeds with them, and with less mobility, it stayed in one spot. So that has been going on a long time. Seed Savers in Decorah, Iowa started in the 70s, and that's one of the largest banks of seed.
And how does that operate? I mean, do they have growers around the country or around the world?
Seed Savers tries to plant all of their stock at least once every 10 years to keep a viable batch on hand. Many of the other places are going to do it more frequently to keep the viability up. 3 years, 5 years is a real nice way to keep it going.
And do we need a special environment to preserve those seeds during that process?
Dry. It can be dry, warm, dry, cold, but you want to keep it constant.
I see, I see. And as we explore this heirlooms on the internet, I see there's hundreds of different sites and companies that have come up. You were exploring that last night and were surprised.
Yep.
How many that
there
you
were
looked
very
at.
many.
Uh-huh. And the one you're involved with?
Baker Creek in Mansfield, Missouri. I met Jeremiah Gettle a couple of years ago at the Small Farm Conference. I was very impressed with his values on stewardship, on social responsibility, and the things that he was trying to achieve matched our goals at the farm. So we were able to start with that. He has, and he still is, recruiting seed stocks, true heirlooms. And sometimes I will get an envelope, it still has the note in it that has been passed on from generations. If it's a small amount, we have to grow it for 1 year to get a stock big enough that it might go into the catalog the next year.
I was looking through the internet and noticed that Seed Savers has a seed bank in Norway. Is that a common feature for many of these heirloom seed companies?
The seed bank in Norway has been set up as a more permanent location to keep plant organisms viable. You have the cold there, and should there be a power failure, it would still be protected. There are other, Fort Collins has a very large seed bank. Many of the companies, Baker Creek has a seed bank. I keep a little seed bank of everything that I've grown. American Horticulture Society urges its members to save seed and exchange seed with other members. Keep that diversity going.
One thing that intrigues me is, how do we know that I've got a pure strain of X type of watermelon or squash or something like that?
Anybody who's producing the seeds has to be very careful about what they're doing so that they do not have crosses. And the easiest way, of course, is isolation. I have a very isolated area here so that I can pull that off pretty easily. You don't want a pure strain in the sense that many of the hybrids are pure. Even when you're looking at seeds sometimes, you'll notice a variation in color. If there's anything that's really, really aberrant, we pull it out. But you know, if there's a few black seeds, we leave them in because you want that diversity, that genetic base to be passed on through other generations.
Judy, what's your role out here in maintaining some of these seeds?
I get involved in planting and hoeing, not so much watering, but I also get to take from the garden and put into cans and can it. We do tomatoes that way. Mm-hmm. I guess I'm an assistant farmer.
Assistant. I guess I haven't heard that term before.
Our part of the partnership has a lot to do with when we start harvesting and cleaning seeds. Yeah. You know, so we have 4 hands doing it instead of 2, so that works out.
Which we did yesterday. We started cleaning peas, and that's a lot of hands-on, you know, over a bushel basket.
Well, give me a little background on your operation here.
Okay, the farm itself has been in continuous vegetable production from the 20s until 1999. I bought the property from my dad when he became ill, and rest